Good afternoon. I hope you guys are doing well. We have some exciting news today. Tonight at 7 o'clock, we're going to have youth group here at the youth center. It may look a little different than normal, but we're going to have youth group here. We'll have a lesson, hang out a little bit. We may grab some ice cream if we have some time. But it's going to be 7 o'clock here at the youth center. That's for anybody that's in 6th grade, all the way for those who just graduated. So 6th through 12th grade, and our graduates, we want you to know that you are a part of this. Every year we have the seniors that graduated kind of stick around for the summer, and so we invite you to come as well. We hope you'll join us if you feel comfortable. We'll have a lesson, kind of hang out, and just kind of be together. Finally, I know I'm really excited about it. I miss you guys and excited to just, kind of get back to somewhat of normal youth group stuff here. And so we invite you to come to that. With that, Wednesdays, our videos are going to change a little bit. For the last couple months, I had been putting out a lesson that was kind of teen-friendly, youth group-friendly lesson. But now that we're going to start meeting in person, they're going to change a little bit. I think what we're going to do is put more of like a recap of what the teens are learning about. So it may be a recap from one of the teens telling you what they learned that night. But we'll post that on Wednesdays. It won't necessarily be at 5 because we're not going to meet till 7. So it might be at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, or it might even be the next morning on Thursday. But we want to keep you in touch with some of the things that we're doing around here. And so know that some things are going to change with the video on Wednesday, but we'll still keep in touch so you can know what the teens are doing. Today we're going to do a normal lesson. We had been studying the book of Jonah, and we did Jonah chapter 1, 2, and 3. And we have one chapter to go, but we're going to take a break on that. I preach next week, so we're going to do Jonah chapter 4 for the sermon, actually. So we'll take a break. We'll learn about that next week. But today we're going to look at a book of the Gospels. We're going to look at Luke chapter 19 and read about a man named Zacchaeus. In verse 1 of Luke chapter 19, it says, Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and he was wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. So he ran ahead, climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. And if you keep reading, you find out and you know through all your junior worship lessons and being a kid and reading this story in the song, you know that Jesus goes to the tree, calls up to Zacchaeus and says, Zacchaeus, come down, I'm coming to your house today. And on that day, Zacchaeus' life was completely flipped upside down. It was changed because Jesus decided to show Zacchaeus some love. And so this afternoon, guys, I want you to look at this story. And mainly at the beginning part of this, we learn a couple things about Zacchaeus. We learn that he's a tax collector and he was a chief tax collector. And we've talked about this before. He would have been a guy that wasn't very liked by many people. He would have been a guy that was known for ripping people off and trying to make some extra money. And so therefore, he probably felt like an outcast. But for some reason or another, he found out that Jesus was coming into town, and he knew that he needed to see Jesus. He knew that whatever his condition was, that he needed to just see Jesus, because he'd heard the things that Jesus had done. He'd heard about who Jesus was, and so he had this desire to see Jesus. Well, I don't know if his invitation got lost in the mail or what, but Zacchaeus kind of shows up late. And when he gets there, the crowd is so big, he can't see through the crowd. He can't see Jesus. So he decides to climb up to the fig tree, the sycamore tree, just to get a glimpse of Jesus. And so, guys, I want you to think about this. I know that these last couple of months have been hard. There's been a lot going on. There's been a lot of different things that have happened. You might be saying, you know what? It's been hard to see God. It's been hard to see Jesus throughout all of this. And sometimes we can get caught up in all the distractions of life and make it, it feel like there's a crowd in front of us and we can't see Jesus. So my question for you today is this, how are you trying to see Jesus? Have you made an attempt to try to see God through all of this? What I love to read about this story is how Zacchaeus was willing to climb up the tree just so he could get a shot at Jesus. And so this afternoon, really this lesson, I want you to think about that. Do you have that same desire that Zacchaeus does? Do you have the same passion to just see Jesus? I would love to hear if you have any ways that you've seen God working in the last couple months. I'd love to hear it. I think it's important as Christians sometimes to sit back and just appreciate the things that God's done in your life. And what's so cool about that is that Zacchaeus was, he was trying to see Jesus because he knew Jesus was going to do something great in his life. And sometimes we need to take moments like that and realize that if we could just see God working in this situation, maybe it'll give us some hope and some peace. And so this afternoon, I want you to think about that. How have you seen God working? Or maybe you have been caught up in the crowd and haven't really been able to notice God. So maybe position yourself in a way that you can see God working. And so I'd love to hear stories of how God has worked in your life over the last couple weeks or couple months. I know for me, it's kind of got me out of my comfort zone. It's got me, it's just been different. But I've seen God the way that He has worked through social media. I've seen how God has taken, platforms that we use so many times for negativity, and that it only seems like bad news, and to a place on Sunday mornings where you see sermon after sermon after sermon. And so that's been pretty cool to see God working in that way. And so I guess this afternoon, just think about, the desire and the passion that Zacchaeus had to see God. Have you had that same passion? Do you have that same desire to see God, to see Jesus? And so think about those things. Hope that you're doing well. Hope that you'll join us on Sunday or on Wednesday, tonight, if not tonight, next week at 7 o'clock for youth group, 6th through 12th grade. And I hope everybody's doing well. See you soon.